Right, this is the build for the Flyingwings Sprite. Step number one is to build the fuselage. So, as per the instructions, you need to fit these three pieces together, like so, and get them all neatly aligned and glue the three together so they're like this. And then once they're glued, this piece here fits onto here, and again is glued in place, and this bit here fits here and is glued in place. So I'll do that and get back to you. Okay, this is the glue I used, but I guess any wood glue would be fine. And here's the ply section all finished. Right, the next job is to cut out the plastic fuselage. So this is it here, just cut it out with a pair of scissors. So when I've done that, I'll come back to you. Okay, so here's the canopy cut out, so I just cut that out with scissors and just sanded around the edge. You need to drill a 3mm hole in the top. And then with this threaded rod here, you need to just screw this knob onto the top and just fix that with a bit of CA glue. And then you place that through the plastic bit and secure it there with this bit of silicone tubing. So that's just going to hold it in place. Okay, so that's that. And now with the this black plastic piece, which is going to hold this on, you just need to put a captive nut into the bottom of it. It says to CA this, but I can't see that this is necessary, so I'll just have that in there like this. And then what happens next is this piece, which has got three mounting holes, fits to this piece using the three nuts and bolts from the kit. So I'll just carry on and do that. So here's the black mounting block. That's been screwed to the fixing here using three bolts and nuts. Put the washer on the underneath and just nip them up. And then the way it works is that the bolt through the plastic section fits down into that housing, and then you simply tighten it up like so, and there's your fuselage. So the next thing I'm going to do is to just prepare this ply and give it a lick of paint. Okay, here's the frame all done, painted white, so that's complete. Now the next job is to cut out the servo holes in the wing. So you're provided this template. I'm using the infamous Tower Pro MG90Ss, just a couple of quid each. And the first thing is to just cut out your hole in the paper, actually using the size of the servo you're going to use rather than exactly as per template. And then position your piece of paper against the trailing edge corner like so, and then cut out the shape of the recess with a sharp knife. There are obviously different ways of doing this. I'll just be using a knife and working it so that the servo will be lying flush with the wing. So I'll carry on and do that. So here we are. I've cut the hole in the wing there, not all the way through, just down sufficient to recess it in, so this side is okay, and then cut a slot here for the wire to pass along, and cut out a slot along the edge here for the wire to pass along here and to go into the fuselage. Okay, laminating the wings is the next thing. There are plenty of films on laminating, so I don't plan to show you how to do it exactly. I'm just warming up the iron at the moment, and I'm going to do just a little test piece on this piece of EPP to try and get the temperature right. So on my iron, that's 110 degrees. That seems to be pretty good. So I'll be doing it at 110. A piece of film out to suit the shape of the wing. So like I said, I won't film all of this. I'll just be doing a stripe down the middle and then stripes across and then putting it around the edges. Okay, that was quite a long job, laminating the wings. First time I've used laminate, but these are the undersides, so they're just going to be plain black. And then on the other side, I've just put some yellow tape across, just so I can tell bottom from top. So, okay, the next job was to create the angle on the front of the ailerons. So I've got a razor plane that I use for doing that. It helps if you just put your two wings out on the table, put the ailerons where they're going to go, and then that way you'll make sure that you plane the angle on the right side. So I've done both of those. So the next job is to cover these and attach them to the wings. I've covered the ailerons, just covered them in white film, iron-on film. And now the task is to fix them to the wing. So it's just as per the instructions, and just make sure that when you tape the top edge, you have them facing down like this, and then you put tape across that top edge, and then just flick it over and have the ailerons facing the other way like that, and again just run tape along that edge there. So I'll be using blender tape, so it's a bit fiddly, I won't film it, I'll show you when it's done. Okay, here's the wing all done with the aileron attached, just tape either sides. So the next job is to fit the servos. So I'm using the infamous Tower Pro MG90Ss. First thing to do is centralise them by attaching them to a receiver and then attach the arms so they're pointing straight up, and then fix in the wings with a little bit of hot glue and route the cables. So I'll continue and do that for both wings. Right, I've completed the servo and the servo arm and the linkage and the horn installation. So the servos have just got a spot of hot glue behind them to keep them in position. I didn't use the rods provided in the kit because they seemed a bit messy and there was a lot of slop at the linkage with the plastic clevis. So the horns weren't provided in the kit, so I've screwed the horn to the aileron. I'm using metal clevis here with a threaded rod going into it and a little plastic keeper on a 90-degree bend here. So now there's no slop at all, and it moves nicely. So that's the wings and the servos all completed. So all I have to do now is glue the rod into the wing and fit the wings to the fuselage, and then it'll all be done. Okay, here she is, all finished.